Have you ever heard that? Have you ever been called an angel or is something as angelic? Well, I want to look at angels unfolding today. So I went to the dictionary where we start with a lot of things and said, what are angels? I looked at angels and there's a dictionary definition that's twofold. One is a spiritual being believed to act as an attendant, an agent, a messenger of God. Conventionally, these angels are in human form with wings and a long robe. And then the second one, a person of exemplary conduct or virtue. So in the first definitions, angels are spiritual beings, like I said, often seen as messengers, servants of the divine. And these are found in various religious traditions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Angels abound. They're typically depicted as that human form with wings, although some traditions portray them a little bit differently. And those angel wings, those are a powerful and widely recognized symbol. And angels' wings carry several significant meanings across the cultures and belief systems. We saw these angel wings, which I'm wearing today, on our recent visit to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And you see the angel wings. I couldn't help but take a picture because knowing that my topic was about angels unfolding, and really that's about the wings, getting your wings, I thought this is a perfect symbol for us. And those angel wings, they're typically spirituality. They symbolize divinity, protection, guidance, freedom, transcendence, love, compassion, hope, and that rising up. And depending on the context, of course, they can also mean in Christianity, they represent the soul's journey to the afterlife. In Islam, they represent the angel's swift obedience to Allah. And early Christian interpretations included angels' wings with the sublime nature of angels and their ability to rise above and to move beyond between realms. And angels' wings are generally good things, right? They allude to a sense of purity, tranquility, a symbol of hope, a desire to escape our current circumstances, and to strive for something bigger and better. And open wings, we see open wings most commonly. They symbolize taking flight, going with the flow of life. And sometimes they're closed around something or outstretched, and this represents protection, safety, security. They represent hope and faith because they're often in light, and angels are often light beings. It's worth noting that sometimes angels are depicted without wings, and they appear as humans. But overall, the symbolism of angel wings is rich. It offers comfort, inspiration, connection to the divine across various cultures and belief systems. And not only do they have wings, sometimes they also have halos. You know, the circle depicted around the angel's head. And that halo also is purity, holiness, divine enlightenment, wisdom. And sometimes angels are just pure light. They are that divine nature, the goodness, the guidance. And guardian angels, particularly sometimes, may appear as light. And angels are believed to play a variety of roles. Like I mentioned, delivering messages from the divine, offering guidance, protection. In fact, the term angel itself comes from the Greek word angelos, meaning messenger. This highlights their role in conveying messages between the divine and humanity. Which reminds me, one day God was looking down on earth and saw all of the rascally behavior that was going on. So then it was time to send an angel down to earth to check it out. So, calling one of the angels, he sent the angel to earth for a time. And when the angel returned, she told God, yes, it's bad on earth. 95% are misbehaving, 5% are not. And God thought for a moment, said, well, maybe I better send down a second angel to get another opinion. So God called another angel and sent him to earth for a time too. And when the angel returned, he said, yes, the earth is in decline. 95% are misbehaving, 5% are being good. And God was not so pleased with this. So he decided to email the 5% that were good because he knew about positive reinforcement and he wanted to encourage them. So God gave them a little something to help keep them going. Do you know what that email said? No, I didn't get one either. Some traditions believe that angels, guardian angels, watch over it and protect individuals. Ernest Holmes writes in Words That Heals Today, there is a guardian angel that accompanies everyone through life. It is the angel of God's presence, their spiritual nature. So angels in the context of spiritual guidance are believed to communicate through various aspects of nature, acting as those messengers, offering signs. Signs could be a cloud formation. Angels might draw your attention to a specific cloud resembling animals or hearts or other symbols as a message of love or protection. Rainbows are sometimes angelic messages, particularly when it's unexpected. It can be seen as a sign of hope, peace, encouragement, that divine communication. Sometimes angels communicate through pleasant, unexplained aromas. Some people believe angels and spirits of nature can influence weather patterns. So, for example, it snowed on the day we buried my mother. It was May 1st. What's snow doing there? Unexpected sightings. Angels may orchestrate encounters with specific animals. Uh, One time I had this giant moth in my house right after somebody had passed away, and I thought, oh, a sign. So, if you believe in angelic guidance, there are several signs and ways angels might try to communicate. A feather. Some people find a feather, and a white feather especially, in an unexpected place. Maybe that's an angelic calling card. Angel numbers. Some people believe 1111 on the digital clock is a sign. Certainly, it's a reminder. Angels appear in dreams, influence insights, warnings, flashes of light. Intuition, gut feelings, that's definitely something that offers you direction or guidance. Sometimes a meaningful word or music on the radio or something a song that comes to your mind, just flash of a song, it's like, oh, that's a message. Sometimes a meaningful coincidence. By paying attention to these signs, we become more aware of the potential guidance and support that is being offered in our life. Now, whether you call this a guardian angel or your intuition or just a message, it is important to remember that recognizing and interpreting these signs is really personal. It requires that personal intuition, openness, and nobody else can tell you what that particular thing means to you. What resonates within you, whether you believe it's an angel or whether you believe it's a sign or whether you believe it's a coincidence, what resonates within you when you encounter these elements is really a valuable guide to you personally. So, whether we call them angels or divine guidance or support, they're a reminder that we are not alone and we can seek the guidance of something greater than ourselves. Mary Oliver, the American poet, wrote this. She said, I've refused to live life locked in the orderly house of reason and proof. The world I live in and believe in is wider than that. And anyway, what's wrong with maybe? You wouldn't believe what once or twice I've seen. I'll just tell you this. Only if there are angels in your head will you ever possibly see one. Living the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes writes, there is an absolute intelligence in the universe, one undivided, birthless, deathless, changeless reality. There's one and only one. And so knowing there's one and only one, that we have a direct connection, I, in my early metaphysical training, just dismissed that there was anything else but that divine oneness and that I was connected with it. So immediately I discarded any intercessories, anything that I should have to go through to get to that divine. And I still feel that way. But what about opening to the divine speaking to us in ways that we may not be accustomed to or that we may not recognize? And this is where it's important spiritual practice to go within, to be aware of what's happening inside. And all this month, we're talking about in the deep, going in deep. Rick Fields, a professor of physics at the University of Florida, said this: only when we are silent can we begin to hear the voice that is truly our own, what Quakers call the still small voice within. The source of this voice, which may be without sound and yet is heard, is called by many different names: the inner guide, guardian angel, spirit guide, collective unconsciousness, or just plain intuition. Actually, all of us hear the whisperings of this voice every single day of our lives, but many ignore it. So we're focusing now on the second definition of angel, and that is a person of exemplary conduct or virtue. And this is what, in our reading, we heard about the children who are setting up lemonade stands to help the flooding victims from the recent floods near Kerrville. These, we could say, are angels. Now, although they may not be virtuous 100% of the time, I have zero doubt that the people around us oftentimes are viewed as angels. And maybe, just maybe, we're all angels. And how is this revealed? Well, this could be the simple act of covering for a coworker when they must leave to attend a personal issue, or one of the grandchildren is ill and you watch them so your own child can go to work and not be stressed out, or helping your spouse complete a task. There are many, many more instances when all of us are perceived by others as angelic in our behaviors, even though we may not say, oh gosh, I'm an angel. Maybe that was you being a messenger, or you being the hands, the feet, the voice of the divine. You remember that TV show Touched by an Angel? So when I was a kid, seeing these angels on TV just was so natural, right? It's like they're helping people, and that's what angels do. And it was really touching, wasn't it, to see at the end of every episode, the angels helped a person and they saw the light, no matter what they'd gone through. And it made me wonder about angels. Now, there was an author, Doreen Virtue, you might have heard of her, and she wrote books on angels and ascended masters. Now, since that time, when she wrote those books, she turned to Christianity and denounced all the New Age books a few years ago. However, when she was guided by New Thought, she wrote this. She says, one incarnated angel said, there's a part of me that wants to fold my angel wings and hide my true identity sometimes. What about that? Today we're talking about angels unfolding. What happens when we fold our angel wings and hide that true identity that we are? The phrase angels unfolding, it can have several meanings, and it is, of course, whatever we assign to it. Now, unfolding to me represents a process of revelation, revealing, coming to understand something as, unfolding the truth. And to me, it's spiritual transformation, growth, spiritual awakening, where we become unfolding toward that higher state of being with guidance and support. And maybe that's of the messengers of spirit. Unfolding can mean seeing things clearly, making key decisions, setting boundaries, becoming more emotionally balanced version of yourself. And maybe it's also about that divine working through us to unfold, to expand who we are. And this might mean new opportunities. Maybe you run into someone who can help you achieve a dream. It might be synchronicity, constant reminders to stay focused on the goal. That unfolding, angels unfolding, can signify divine revelation. And what about that? What about if we were unfolding? What about if we allowed those angels' wings to unfold? Another piece of art we saw in Santa Fe was in the Origami in the Garden. And I want to just show you this piece as well. So it was about origami. You know what origami looks like. And this is the piece. If you think about origami being a piece of paper that is folded up, and out of that fold comes some creature, well, you've probably heard about folding cranes. It's all done with one piece of paper. And it said if you fold 1,000 cranes, that is good luck. Well, what I've just showed you is a picture of what happens when you unfold that paper. And it's huge. It's a big piece. But now let me show you what that was originally. And it was this crane. Now, if you can imagine that crane all folded from a piece of paper, which is magic in itself, and then when you unfold that piece of paper, this is what you get. And it's so much larger than the crane itself. And that's what it reminds me of. So we are unfolding. We're so much bigger than we thought we were. And we have so much wonderful work to do. So, have you ever had someone come back to you after some period of time and tell you that something you said made a difference in their lives? See, us unfolding inspires and empowers other people to move from the core of their being into something greater as well. So it gives people hope. In the book Beating Hearts and Butterflies, Christine Evangelou writes, "You can't touch hope, but you can feel her through the breath of angels and in the faces of those with hope etched in their eyes. The ones who give you something to believe in once more. Remember to cherish hope's rays and her warmth as she rises through the fire. As a phoenix reborn, for hope is eternal, like the shape of rising sun and the pools of cascading gold from heavens as a new dawn awakes to come." The breath of angels, hope, and strength. So when we're in a place of weakness and doubt, just consider what would it be like to be enfolded in those angel wings. And even at the lowest point, knowing that we can be lifted up. And we all have those low points. From Teresa Soto, Spilling the Light, writes, "Boldly you must hang your light, neon, buzzing, bright, and do not be chagrined when your light blinks. It is a silent song of yes, you're welcome here. Boldly give your love and arrive at joy." Mm. So everybody has that. Everyone. In Saving God from Religion, Robin Myers writes, "Being made in the image and likeness of God does not make us a little lower than the angels, or require that we knock on heaven's door to ask for special favors. But it does mean that sooner or later, when we knock, we all get invited inside. We are the very image of God, and our treatment of one another is our treatment of the divine." This divine is pure relationship. And when we get invited in, we should not be surprised that there's nothing that we have to offer that has not already been offered to us. Angels' wings, the idea of angels, the idea of something beyond this human form that I'm in is really something to look at because we're larger. We are unfolding. As we unfold, we come into that true nature of who we are. And our job also is to share that. Peggy Bassett was a religious science minister in Huntington Beach. And she said this: "You may be the only book of wisdom and truth that someone else will ever read." See, we are that open line of communication between the divine and each other. And the wings that we have embody the bridge between who we are in this human form and that divine nature that we truly are. The, Lawrence Kushner from Honey from the Rock writes this: "Ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their task in holy anonymity. And yet, if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are not. Never forget that you too are a messenger." And so we are those messengers of spirit. We are those angels. We are that, even though sometimes we don't act like it. So angels' wings usually are symmetrical in appearance. And to me, that represents the balance between the physical and spiritual parts of ourselves. And we all need a rest sometimes. So imagine God is talking to one of the angels and says, "Do you know what I've just done? I've created a 24-hour period of alternating light and darkness on earth. Isn't that great?" And the angel says, "Yeah, but what will you do now?" He said, "I think I'll call it a day." Perhaps laughter, along with gratitude, is the language of angels. And what I know without a shadow of a doubt, that there is that divine angel within each one of us. And so my prayer for today, I guess, is that I keep the open heart to help and to be that angel that other people may need, and that I know other people are there for me as angels because together we fly. And so let's take that into our meditation today. And just know there's one power, one presence, one infinite source, that we know it without a shadow of a doubt, that it is deep within us, deep in our hearts. It's the very breath we breathe. It is greater than we can imagine. And as we unfold, we recognize the beauty of that, the beauty of the creases, the lines, the folded places. And knowing that as we unfold and smooth that out, that we are larger than we can imagine because we are made in that image and likeness of the divine. We are co-creators with that. And so as we are co-creators with that, we speak the word of truth, of wisdom, knowing that everywhere we look, this is an abundant universe. There is so much, so many resources, so many helpful people, so much that we can enjoy and love and share. And everything that we have is a gift from the divine. And so we appreciate that with such gratitude, hearts overflowing with love. And knowing too that relationships are that symbol of love in spirit. the relationship not only with each other, but that relationship with ourselves and with the divine within us. This is a holy relationship. And knowing too that there is perfect divine creative energy, that divine spirit which moves through us, that impels us to be creative beings, to create beauty around us, to create and live in that power of possibility, the creative energy, a gift. And also, we receive that gift of perfect health, knowing that this body, the temple of spirit, has been created in love, in light, with a perfect intelligence. And so, knowing this, knowing that there is abundance, there is love, there's creative energy, there is the divine health, that this world is absolutely perfect. And so, as we go about our day with this thought in our hearts, we cannot help but share, to be of service, to be in service, to be that love, to be that angel that is so absolutely crucial in this world today. And so I allow that idea to take flight. I release it to the universal law, which has already said yes, and yes, and yes. And so I let it be. And so it is.